Good afternoon, and welcome to the end of week market review for Friday, November 23rd, 2012. Before we get started with this presentation, we are going to ask that you pause the video. Once you're done, you can go ahead and press play. Alright, so you can see that we're going to be covering a few topics today. First off, we're going to be taking a look at the market news. We'll be taking a look at some economic reports, and then we'll be looking at the daily and weekly charts for both the S&P 500 and the TSX. We'll then finish by taking a look at the volatility index, as there really haven't been very many picks this week, given the overall market sentiment with market closures and whatnot with Thanksgiving. So we can see that the markets did end up higher today with a short session, with the markets being closed at 1 Eastern Standard Time, and even though we had the markets completely closed yesterday. We got the Dow Jones that reclaimed 13,000 and the S&P 500 which claimed 1,400. All in all, the Dow and the S&P were both up about 1.3%. We could also see that oil went up 1.43%, putting it to $86.67 per barrel, with gold up 1.34%, putting it at $1,751.40 per ounce. Taking a look at our economic reports, one of the nicer things to see was that the jobless reports did end up coming in lower this week versus them being higher the week prior to that. So this definitely did influence some positive trading. While looking at the S&P 500's daily chart, we can see that we did break through some overhead resistance. Obviously, we did break through that 1,400 psychological level of resistance, but we also broke above this declining trend line that was established in the middle of October. We can see that the MACD is still rising bearish, but with the black line over top of the blue line. When we look at the S&P 500 on a weekly chart, we can see that the declines that we've had really aren't that significant. In fact, we can see that we've had them happen just back at the beginning of this year as well. Now, what we've had is this lower trend line rising since the middle of 2011. We tested it once at the beginning of 2012, and we're testing it again now. By the looks of it, we're starting to work itself back up again. If this holds true, we could end up seeing the S&P 500 work itself into territory beyond 1,500. While looking at the TSX, we can see that it is still looking for some overhead resistance around 12,250, which is a psychological level of resistance. Now the MACD is rising bearish with the black line over top of the blue line. If we look at the TSX on a weekly chart, we can see that it is still trading very tightly between these two trend lines. And with that said, it is not looking nearly as strong as the S&P 500 is. So if we ever plan on any longer term trades, the S&P 500 might be the better choice. And for our last chart, looking at the volatility index, we can see that it has definitely worked itself lower, especially since last week where it was trading up above 18. It is now down to 15.14. With the indicator this low, we can start to trade with much more confidence in the overall markets. So with that said, if anybody has any further questions, let us know by emailing training@idealtradinglifestyle.com or calling toll-free 1-888-942-0266. Just make sure that you're dialing extension number 5. So with that said, have yourself a great rest of your week. Ciao for now.